Well, everyone, welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. You know, it has been 3 weeks that I've actually taken off since the big Women Gone Wild Summit. And let me just tell you, wow, that was not only a massive learning lesson for me, but the energy that we brought in from the women from around the world that tuned in to listen and to be part of this container that we were creating for women to not only feel safe, to have their voice heard, but also to create a safe container for other women to really see themselves in others. And I think we did a really amazing job at that summit. However, I have a few women that I wanted to bring out an extra special show just for you, because these two women are doing things in the world that are changing other people's lives. They are truly tapping into that essence, that source that we're given as women, that tunes into our intuition, allows us to attract more wealth into our life, and it brings us into that space of leadership and embraces diversity, which is what WILD stands for, and that's our motto within Women Gone Wild. So I would like to introduce you to two very special ladies today. You're gonna love this conversation. Tune in, make sure that you put the kids down, give them something to chew on, right? Because I want you to tune in to this conversation, because these women are going to very much so inspire you and bring you into a whole different space. So my very first guest I'd like to introduce, her name is Tarsh Ashwin. Tarsh is an international best-selling author, business strategist, and the CEO and founder of Ashwin Publishing. She provides a platform for conscious leaders and entrepreneurs to share their message with the world, elevate their authority, and affect global change. Woo, we love that. She specializes in guiding soulful women in business to grow their impact-driven business and step into empowered leadership. Her work is a bespoke fusion of energetic transformation, outer strategy implementation, and high-level published works that pave the way to purposeful profit. Ooh, that sounds juicy. She believes in the incredible power of publishing to grow heart-centered businesses that are committed to affecting transformational and global change. Tarsh, how are you, lovely? Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. I'm well, Rhonda. Thank you for having me today.
It's so good to have you. I loved having you part of the summit. Our conversation was like so in tune, you know, like wasn't that space that we created in the summit like so energetic, but it was like also felt very calm at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, it had real fiery energy, and maybe that's your energy, you know, powerful and wild indeed.
Yeah, well, I love it too, because I think the collaboration, and this is really about why this show today, I wanted to bring you on, because I know you being in publishing, you are all about collaboration, right? Because you work with others and publish their books and bring other women together to tell their story. So I want to ask you this, would you mind, I think some of the biggest lessons that we learned are sometimes through our failures. What would you say is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned from a failure you might have had?
Well, you know, I think one of the biggest, we'll say failures in quotes, right? Because, yeah, it's not really a failure at the end of the day. But, yeah, I mean, I took, my son was about 2.5, so this was about 2.5 years ago, and I decided to take 9 months off my business after kind of, you know, coming to the end of what was a pretty intense post-traumatic stress and postnatal depression period. And at the time, I remember thinking like, I can't take time off my business. You know, I've built this business. Like if I take 9 months off, you know, I'm going to run it into the ground. But I decided to, and I had a lot of shame around actually telling all my clients, you know what, we need to screech everything to a halt. I need to heal, and I need to, you know, really take some time for me. And that was, one of the most powerful lessons of my life, because up until then, you know, I was superwoman, like I could do everything, right? At least I thought I could. And really, you know, recognizing that I needed to ride the waves, I think. And especially when you have a child and a business, it's kind of like you're juggling a lot. So at the time I saw that as a real failure, but I look back on that now and know that I couldn't have really had it, and I couldn't have done it any other way. And I learned a lot about slowing down and, you know, really knowing when to listen to my body.
You know, I think it's such a, it's a big conversation for women, you know, especially in business. we do that, right? We say that we're super women. Like I have, you should see, I don't know if it's here, but I have this Wonder Woman plaque that I've had forever. I've been Wonder Woman for Halloween, I think every year since I've been 6 years old, right? So I wear that armor. However, what I did realize is what you did is that, you know, we do have to give ourselves a break and take that time. And I think that's really beautiful because that's a great representation for women around the world, right? That it's not just about you pushing it so hard, it's about giving yourself space. And so I guess that leads me then to another question, which is if you were to say, you know, what wild then means to you, what does wild mean to you now that may be different than what it probably meant to you 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, that's such a great question because it means a lot, lots of nuances there. You know, for me, I've been tuning into this quite a lot over the last couple of weeks. I really feel like it's, you know, it's our capacity to, as women, to really honor our intuition and to take action upon that which we feel intuitively called to. And so that might look like doing things against the grain or, you know, like pushing up against the status quo or really, you know, doing things that other people, you know, that it's not like everyone else is doing, you know, and having the courage to really stand powerfully within that, within our intuition and our values. There's a lot to it though, of course, you know, like I really see the wild women in business as the ones who are really charging forth on the next and on the next timeline, you know, the Great Awakening, where we're really supporting our clients and, you know, it's often transformational work that we facilitate, which has a powerful global impact. It has a real ripple effect. And yeah, really standing and charging forth with our people, leading our people into the Great Awakening.
Yeah, you know, because it's true. Like wild has a whole new meaning to me as well, what it did so long ago. Before it was like, oh, do everything you can do and charge for it. Now it's like, no, now sit back, observe, see what's happening, feel the energy, and then flow with what is being guided. And that's a big lesson for me as well. So how do you then balance like your masculine and your feminine energies, right? Being in business, like the masculine gets us to do stuff, the feminine says, hey, let's just allow. How do you see yourself doing that and balancing it well?
I think this is one of the biggest lessons being in business has taught me, and I'm still learning it. You know,
Yeah.
I still nudge up against old inherited, you know, like from my dad who works really hard and, you know, God bless him, he's amazing. But I've definitely taken on a lot of that patriarchal ancestral patterns of, you know, it's a hard slog, we say here in Australia, you know, like you work really hard and you prove, like you show that to the world. And yeah, I've definitely experienced burnout and, you know, a number of different health crises as a result of that. And so now I will often, I know the signs, I know when I'm tipping into overwork, but, you know, I have a little 9-month-old baby and this time around, I've really had to learn how to really listen to what it is that my body is demanding of me, you know, and recognize that like I could strut forward with this part of my brain, but if my body's not catching up, it's going to have a really big impact and a collateral impact, you know, not just on me, but on my family and my clients and my business and all of that. It's huge.
Yeah, I can really see that too. Like it's those type of things that we have to really listen to and really tune into. I'm learning it more and more every single day too. Like this last couple of years, it's like, wow, okay, you know, this nervous system thing, it's a real thing. You have to really protect it, right? And then having others, I think some of the best advice was given to me is having others around you that can help you and support you, right? And when I was building and scaling my company, it was challenging because I was doing it myself mostly, and then I put it on a couple people, and now we've got like 55 worldwide. But it's like, wow, you realize how much help you really could use. And John DeMartini is one of my favorite speakers and authors, and he says, really lean into your highest values. What are your highest values? And anything else, have others do the work. That could be something they want to do so that it can take you so you can only do your highest values. And then from there, your business and everything else skyrockets because you're only doing the things that you love. And I think that's such an important factor. And I know women that are watching right now are like, yes, mama, yes. You know, we believe in that too. You know, I always ask this question because it's really fun to find out from people. Like if you were to speak to your younger self, what would be the best advice that you would give your younger self?
Oh, it would be like slow down and be present. So many years and years that I've spent trying to do like, this eternal juggle, baby on one hip and computer in the other, and doing it, functioning really well, but not actually being present with either,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's again still a learning curve, but really making it my, I guess, an art that I cultivate too. Like when I'm with my family, I drop everything, shut the phone away, put it away so it's not tempting, and be present with them in the moment. And same is true when I'm with my clients, not feel like I have to try and do everything at the same time because I'm moving so quickly and wanting,
Yeah.
caught in the wheel.
Well, it's good advice because I think the kids of the world, they do think, like they see this hustle mentality and this push and, no pain, no gain, kind of style. And it's not reality. And I think it's a really great piece. And I always ask that because it helps me talk to my daughter, like what would be the best advice everyone would give themselves? And I think it's really beautiful. So Tarsh, what's going on for you right now? Like what's next? Where can people find you? What can they expect from you?
Yeah, so I've got a lot happening actually. I've got a free 3-day activation which I'm running next week, and that's called Ignite Your Wild Leadership. So it's pretty energetically. Yes, I think I felt incredibly inspired after the summit that I decided to really run with that and expand on my conversation inside the summit, which was that topic, igniting your wild leadership. So I've got that 3-day activation happening next week, which I'm super excited about. For me personally, leadership, and especially like women in leadership, this is what's going to change the world. The more women that really step forward and claim their power and allow themselves to be leaders and, really give themselves the space. So that's the biggest thing that's happening in my world. And yeah, you can find me. I've got a free Facebook group, the Business Alchemy Collective. It's probably the best place to find me there.
Business Alchemy Collective. I love it. Well, Tarsh, I absolutely adore you. I love who you are. I love what you represent. And we need more women like you in this world. Just keep doing the thing, right? Keep showing up and being an example to our younger generation. So I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. I'm going to bring in our next guest, and then I want to have a couple quick conversation with the two of you before we head out. But my next guest is Stephanie Bruns, and this woman she's so dynamic, and it's 2 a.m. with her right now, where she lives right now, and she'll share with you where that is, because this woman is up and on point because she is such a purpose-driven entrepreneur and woman. Stephanie helps extraordinary world leaders achieve outstanding results. She is a high expert in leading high performers to more energy and success. Stephanie is a quantum psychologist, business mentor, and mother of 4 children with over 20 years of experience in coaching ultra successful people. Stephanie Bruns, how are you, my dear?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the nice invite. I'm happy to be here. Hello to everyone.
Oh, it's so good to see you again on the stage. I wish one day you're going to be here. Where are you at right now? Why is it 2 a.m?
It's in Portugal.
She's in Portugal, right? So 2 a.m, 4 kids sleeping, and this woman is up and ready. And that's purpose-driven, leadership. And Steph, is this something when it comes to like the work that you do and the dedication that you put into your work, how do you then like balance your family life as well? I think this might be unique. You don't usually work at 2 a.m, do you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you? She's like, that's when all the kids
To be
are
honest.
That's when they're all asleep.
But I don't sleep a lot. So
Yeah.
I only need 4 till 5 hours sleep a day. And I work in 2 shifts, so I have enough time for my family. They're at home, so
Yeah.
that's important. They are unschoolers. We learn at home, and therefore I'm with them the whole day, even though I'm working. So it's.
I love that. My daughter's now recently been homeschooled, but she was in schools before. How do you find that then because I think the unschooling is the smartest and the wisest way to parent, but that's my own opinion. How do you see the next generation of young children that are, being raised as an unschool? Like, how do you see that future for us?
Yeah, I think the future is bright because when we guide them to their cosmic mission and we support their gifts, then they will be so natural. I mean, my 13-year-old wants to become a hypnotherapist. My 11-year-old son is cutting video, so is video editing. And this is awesome. My 8-year-old is doing energy sessions, healing sessions for her friends when they hurt themselves.
Oh, I love it.
And my youngest, she's 4-year-old, and she just brings me sometimes something like a stone. And I said, what is it for? And she said, for energy healing. And she is the one that reminds us when we forgot to energize our food at lunchtime. And this is so sweet.
Well, they say,
So-
you know, our kids learn from us, right? I mean, you being a quantum psychologist, well, actually, why don't you share what that actually means? Because just what you said about your children, it's obvious this is the conversation that's in your home. And I would say that maybe many that are watching this may have never even heard of what quantum psychology is and how they can bring that into their life for their families and their businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a special term because you can't find it anywhere, but I'm a psychologist and I added quantum because I'm working in the quantum field since 2 decades now. And it's so important that we combine those two parts because they are not so they are together. So it's natural that they are together. And we have to step in the field because the quantum field is around us. And if you never heard about quantum physics, it's good to look it up because we have a lot of things to discover. And I think it should be something that is taught in school. And we will bring this up even if we have to create new schools for that. So we are all connected, we are one, and we have the feeling we are not connected, but that's not the reality. It's only a feeling. And to use quantum physics in therapy, in healing, in ascension is the quickest way to develop.
Well, you know, it's interesting, Stephanie, that you bring that up because, I mean, obviously we know that the world is gone a bit mad. And, you know, this is like a true wake up. Like this is the conversation that we've been holding to help open the eyes of the world, right? Most people around the world right now are kind of sleepy. They're not sure. They're afraid. And, you know, I think the moment that we tap inside and really realize what is available to us in this quantum realm, then we actually realize that we have everything that we need and it's all within ourselves. And that we can really pull the energy that we need to survive. So, where do you think the world is going? Like, how close do you think we are to others really realizing this and you know, making that shift?
Yeah. So when we look at the last 2 years, we can say it can go very quickly. If it's possible to convince normal people about something, then it's also possible to convince them about the truth and about the true reality. So, and that's a good part. So we have to reframe the whole story. And I'm convinced that we can go quickly if we get the top thinkers, the thought leaders of the planet. And women are thought leaders. So, and we have to get the big influencers as well. So, and at the moment, a lot of the big influencers are, you said, sleepy. And if we show them their true source and if we show the potential, then we can go like this in the next dimension. So, and Tarsh said timelines. Yeah, we can jump to another timeline immediately, but we need more people that are awake because it's also a question of frequency.
Yeah.
And if we have enough people that are awake, we can easily bring our consciousness in the mass consciousness. So we call it in psychology the effect of the 100th monkey. And we know it's possible, but we need more people that have the same experiences and that raise their frequency.
Yeah,
raise the consciousness.
No, I love that. I was reading Hawkins' book, Truth versus Falsehood, right? And he talks about our frequency levels, right? And you know, where we are at humanity, like we're literally just over 200, which is just above, you know, fear. Like we're in hope, right? And it's like, wow, to even think that only 13% of the population is just elevating and vibrating at a higher frequency than fear. And it's like, wow, how long is it going to take? However, what you said is that I believe it's like the more we all start to just stay in that frequency and connect with others, it's like a battery. Would you say, like when there's more together? I think that's why there's so many that are coming together and elevating their frequency, because when we do that, then the frequency of the world and the planet starts to elevate just by us being next to each other. So what would you say, like if people are watching, like, I don't even know how to do that. How do I elevate my frequency? Like I can sit here, elevate my frequency. Like how do people do it?
So you said already it's about emotions. So when you're stuck in the lower levels, then you're stuck in lower emotions. So-called anger, fear, also shame, guilt. So that are the lowest frequencies and emotions you can have. So 20, 30 hertz. Yeah. And women are often stuck there because they feel guilty, they don't do a lot for the business, or they are not with the families. So they can't fit in the ideal, because the ideal would they have to duplicate and make their career and at the same time be the loveliest mom ever. And that's not possible. So we have to create the jobs that cover this. And we did. So this is amazing. Check this part.
Right.
But to answer your question, and this is one part. So you have to manage your emotions, and it's possible because we are not our emotions. We are much more than this. We are the observer. And then it's also a question of your heart frequency. So when you open up your heart, and you can do a heart frequency activation, and then you send out more photons, it's light energy, and you get more photons in. And we know a normal human send out 20 photons per second. And if the human is on a state that's called heart coherence, it will send out 100,000 photons per second. So that's 5,000 times more. Imagine what is possible. And if we fall in love, we know the state. So you can see it 10 meters away. Oh, something changed in this person. It's the open heart. So this is one part. And the second part is decalcify and activate the pineal gland, because then you are able to get the channel to the highest source of all. You get more wisdom. You step into your true potential. And that's the easiest way. And then we have this ripple effect that you said, and also Tarsh talked about, that we have the frequency go over, and we see it lower crime rates, people are more happy, the Schumann frequency raises up when 1 million people meditate at the same time, and we can do this shift so quickly, but we need more people with a higher frequency, and we are working on it every day.
Yeah, and I think that's the best lesson, right? Work on it every day, because I do the same. I mean, I meditate. It takes at least, even if it's just 5 minutes, just stop and tap myself back into, you know, my truest essence, right? And connect to the frequency of the planet. Like breathe with Mother Earth. Like some people think it's like, it sounds so crazy. It's like, no, just know that you are so connected to the life source and the life force that's around you. And we get so confused, right? All this technology and all these things and these people. And I think that's such a brilliant message, especially for women, because, you know, the more we keep talking about it and bringing it out and not allowing the low frequencies to affect us. And I think that's something that many women do fall into the trap. Either they're like, I feel so good when I'm around this group, but when I'm around that group or someone comes at me, I just can't hold it. And I think that's where the practice comes from. And I think that it's so brilliant that we get to learn about these things every day. And we have people like you that are helping guide that way. And I love it. So I'm excited though, because you're actually going to be an author in the next book coming out. So would you, before I bring Tarsh out here, like share a little bit about like why you said yes to Wild, why you said yes to being an author in the next book, and maybe a sneak peek of what you might be talking about.
Yeah. So as you sent me the invitation, I thought, oh my gosh, what an opportunity. And I was so happy because I appreciate your work. And I know it will reach thousands of people, and we will get this message out. We will be louder than before, and we will change something out there. And that's amazing. And I'm so excited to be part of it.
So what's next for you then, Steph? What's going on with you in Portugal? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so we are exploring the English-speaking market at the moment. So we did a lot of stuff in the German-speaking market. We did heart frequency, pineal gland, and now is the time to get everything set up in English. We did start already. We have our shop. So on our businessflowacademy.com, you get everything we have at the moment in English. And the next steps will be to get more into intergalactic portals, how to create them, how to find them, how to get the ley lines, and to step into this power to ascend your extrasensory perception. And yeah, I'm super amazed to have this fancy stuff.
Yes. Well, but you're doing the work that gets. This is what's going to change the planet. Business Flow Academy.
Yep.
I love it. I've been watching your stuff on Instagram. Make sure you watch, Stephanie. She always gives some great advice. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you for being you. Thank you for standing up for the shift of our consciousness and this planet, and doing it with such grace and showing up with such strength at all times. I truly adore you. So I want to bring both of you ladies out so I can, thank you both for being here, because I truly do believe that the work that these women are doing is going to shift the planet. And it's about just showing up. It's about showing up for who you are and what you believe in, and being and falling in love with your impact. Danelle Delgado said that on the summit, and she's actually going to be also an author in the next book. And she said, fall in love with your impact. And I think you two ladies do that so well. So I wanted to bring you both here to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all women that are watching, that are inspired or maybe are uncertain as to what their role is in the world. You two are amazing. And I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon on the airwaves. Well, everyone, that is a wrap for this episode of the Rhonda Swan Show. Two amazing women doing incredible things with grace, balance, and connection to source. This is the new black. That's actually the new hustle. Grace, connection, and directly channeling the energy from source. Like, that's the new black. That's the new way that we need to navigate the feminine way, and to help shift the planet, inspire our youth, and to change the world. So everyone, thanks for being here. I hope you loved this show. I cannot wait to see you next time. And don't forget to be unstoppable and stay wild. And oh, I forgot, the book is now ready. And the next series is coming out next April 2022, but you can get access to this book right now at WGWbook.com. Amazing stories by amazing women changing the planet.